The Crypto Markets Update is presented by Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager.
Cryptocurrency leader Nexo partnering with Fidelity Digital Assets to provide products and infrastructure for institutions. Institutional investors who use Fidelity as their custodian will have access to Nexo's products and crypto prime brokerage under one umbrella. Joining us now to discuss is Kalin Metodiev, co-founder and managing partner at Nexo. Welcome, Kalin. Thanks for joining us. So just taking a look at Bitcoin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'd love to have your outlook on where Bitcoin is headed.
Well, it is always difficult to tell. If there was somebody that had a clear vision on where Bitcoin would be tomorrow, next week, or next month, we definitely would like to speak to that person. What we're seeing at the moment, obviously, is a continuation of the weakness we saw at the end of last week. It seems that this move, isn't completed yet on the downward side, and perhaps if there's still a little bit of remaining leverage to be cleared off the books. So, we believe that this is something that could happen over the coming days. But ultimately, we're long-term believers. We believe that next year and in the coming weeks and months, the upward move will continue, and we hope to see finally a Bitcoin, hopefully toward the end of the first half of 2022 reach the ultimate level of $100,000.
Yeah, Kalin, you have this deal with Fidelity, and of course, there's always this belief that the institutions are coming, just you wait, and some of them are starting to come into it now. But is it going to really be the story of 2022, or are we going to see more retail involved in Bitcoin than previously thought?
Well, the institutions are definitely coming. I can tell you that for sure. We're seeing it on a daily basis. They have been coming for the most part, very visibly during 2021, and of course, and in the latter part of 2020. But this, of course, this partnership for us is an important step. It is an important step in a coordinated sequence of many different steps that we're taking to fortify our presence in the institutional space. Everybody, probably knows us, much better for our leadership role in the retail-oriented lending area, where we have been performing since the first days of our existence. However, we have a very strong suite of institutional products and service offerings, and this partnership, again, is just another important way for us to strengthen our custodian solutions, to diversify our exposures to to various providers in that space, and of course, for us, personally, is it leaves quite a positive impression that we're seeing one of the most reputable names in the traditional finance space for custodian solutions join the space and become increasingly more important, and of course, work with us not only on just the pure provision of custodian solutions, but at the same time also for the offering of new and innovative institutional products, three-party agreements, which are something that our institutional customers demand.
Kalin, it's really interesting that you're growing these partnerships and, landing these big deals. At the same time, the regulatory headwinds are coming in, and it's still very unclear what U.S. regulators are up to and how they will be regulating the crypto space. I understand the New York Attorney General has sent a cease and desist letter to Nexo, and I wonder, where does that stand?
Well, you're absolutely right about one thing, and that is that this situation remains unclear, not only in the U.S., but in many other jurisdictions around the world where Nexo operates. One thing about us is that we are very diligent on following the regulatory practices in place. There really isn't, any clear-cut definitions of what they are at the moment, and we have been exercising our best judgment for the most part, and for the last few years of trying to figure out what the regulators ultimately can expect of companies, such as Nexo and many other companies in the CeFi space, let alone the DeFi space, obviously, which is facing even more challenges on that front. But also for us, it's just trying to again use our experience from the traditional financial markets and apply them here. So we have taken a lot of steps. We of course have very active communication with the regulators. We believe that to a large extent the situation in New York was due to just a technical situation, things that we have done and followed very well to avoid the appearance of any business operations in New York. We have geo-blocking in place. There's multiple other ways that we prevent New York citizens from working on our platform. And if there have been any individual instances, our legal and compliance teams have worked very rigorously over the last few months, and especially in light of this communication that we received, to ensure that we remain 100% compliant in all cases.
So, Kalin, about not being able to do business in New York, you mentioned that's you try to block the customers from coming in. So, in simple terms, for people at home who are watching or kind of discovering all this, what is it that you're doing to achieve the yields that you do in your crypto lending platform that makes it not legal in New York?
Well, you're probably asking this question, to one of the wrong people at Nexo. I'm a person who's at the company. My role is in charge of investments, corporate finance, institutional sales. I'm really not the legal and compliance lead at Nexo, but of course, I'm in daily communication with these teams and with our legal and compliance lead. So, it's obviously very important that the steps we take on the business side align with the yields, as you pointed out, that we're paying. And for us, it's a quite straightforward situation. Being a retail-oriented lender and working with retail borrowers all around the world in a compliant manner in all the jurisdictions where we can do that, we continuously experience greater demand for our lending solutions, even than obviously the total supply that we can provide on any single day or week. So the core of our business is sourcing liquidity from the market, where we can obtain it, whether on the retail side, on the institutional side, and lending this liquidity back to back in our very wide borrowing pipeline. So it's just obviously a typical straightforward lending business, of course, with numerous additional aspects that complete the total picture of a comprehensive financial services company with investments and various initiatives in the ecosystem.
So you purchased a broker-dealer recently. Have you heard from the SEC as to whether or not you need to have a broker-dealership in order to do your business in the U.S.? Are you in discussions with them now? Any kind of communication? And how quickly can you integrate that broker-dealership into your current business to get it going, should that be the case, should the SEC require it?
Well, again, as I said, we're in active and productive conversations with various regulators around the world. Not only on some sort of a reactive basis where we have been issued a communication and we find ourselves in a situation where we need to provide answers. We actually proactively approach multiple regulators in not only in the broker dealer segment, but also banking regulators around the world that with which we work to expand our product and service capabilities. As far as this partnership is concerned, please don't see it only as means to achieving some sort of regulatory end game. For us, a partnership with a broker-dealer is very important because we are at the forefront of companies that aim to blend the digital asset capabilities with those that users are used to in the traditional finance sector. So we are very quickly transforming our pure digital asset company into something that we started recently calling a MetaFi company. It's basically a combination of digital asset capabilities, the new metaverse opportunities, that are being presented by this space, but also traditional financial services that will be provided, to customers in a more innovative way. So, a broker dealer would give us the ability to also add traditional securities to our platform and basically integrate all these capabilities under one roof on one hand. On the other hand, we have mentioned in various public appearances and in publications issued by Nexo that we strongly support the tokenization of assets. And that, of course, includes tokenization of securities that can be traded on our platform in the near future. And that's particularly what underlines our efforts here.
Kalin, I'm just looking at your website, and go ahead, Lawrence.
Oh, no, but it also gives you a competitive advantage compared to some of your other crypto lenders that may not have a broker dealer. Should the SEC then say, hey, you know what, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you'll require it. Today, we have this meeting in Congress. What do you hope to come of it with the Congress's meeting of all these crypto executives? Do you hope that they'll come up with some sort of at least a discussion in the end for how to regulate or how to deal with crypto lenders, including whether or not they will require such licenses?
I mean, again, this is what we can hope for. Our stance in such situation has been that we're always open to productive conversations. Do we know all the answers, at Nexo, and are those the answers that we can just, basically spread across the entire industry? We don't do that. Do the regulators, individually, have all, all their answers and solutions, on a predetermined basis? Perhaps not. So I think, that what is important here for us not to forget is that, yes, we're offering financial services. And as a financial services provider, we have the responsibility, the obligation, the fiduciary duty to do it in a compliant manner that preserves the interests of all investors, whether they're small retail investors or our, largest institutional clients. At the same time, as I said, for regulators, they need to be the watchdogs of the industry. They need to make sure that everybody plays by the rules, but at the same time, they also carry a very important responsibility, and that is not to stifle innovation. And I believe that, there is, we need to essentially meet in the middle. Everybody brings important points for consideration and for discussion. Hopefully, each party, sees the most important aspects of, what the other party brings to the table. And in the end, we have an optimal solution. But again, this is what we hope for.